Welcome to today's episode where we dive into President Donald Trump's recent statements and his administration's achievements. From historic ceasefire deals to significant trade negotiations, his leadership has been front and center in global politics.
Absolutely, A. One of the standout moments from his recent address was his role in brokering the ceasefire between India and Pakistan. Both nations were on the brink of a devastating conflict, and the president used trade as a leverage point to encourage peace. What's your take on using trade as a diplomatic tool?
It's certainly an unconventional method, B. Trump has always been vocal about using economic influence in global affairs, and this is a prime example. The trade talks with both India and Pakistan were framed around preventing conflict, showing that diplomacy doesn't always follow traditional routes.
And speaking of trade, the president also talked about his administration's efforts to reset relations with China. The recent tariff reduction deal was a key point. Do you think this marks a shift in the U.S.-China economic dynamic?
It does seem like a turning point. By reducing tariffs, the U.S. and China are working towards resolving structural issues in their trade relationships. However, it's important to note that some tariffs will remain on essential industries like pharmaceuticals. This gives the U.S. leverage, especially with big pharma companies.
Right. The pharmaceutical industry is another huge topic he touched on. President Trump discussed slashing prescription drug prices, which could have massive implications for American consumers. What are your thoughts on his push for most favored nation drug pricing?
It's a bold move. By aligning the U.S. drug prices with those of other developed nations, Trump aims to bring down the costs significantly. It's clear that he's trying to level the playing field in healthcare, but there will be pushback from pharmaceutical companies, especially when profits are at stake.
On a related note, his upcoming trip to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE could bring more diplomatic and economic shifts. With all the trade deals and military discussions, this trip is going to be pivotal.
Absolutely. The president's actions, whether with Saudi Arabia or the recent ceasefire in the Middle East, are all part of a broader strategy to strengthen U.S. influence in these regions. The idea is to bring stability, but also to ensure that these countries continue to engage with the U.S. economically and strategically.
It's all interconnected, isn't it? From trade wars to ceasefire agreements, President Trump has been using all his resources to shape international relations. We'll be watching closely to see how these deals unfold.
Definitely, the next few months will be crucial in determining how these international policies impact both global stability and the U.S. economy. Thank you, B, for your insights today.
Thank you, A. It's always a pleasure discussing these major events. We'll keep our listeners updated as things progress.